To the Dixie Boys State Tournament. It is the championship game this morning between Beaufort County and Latta. I'm Chloe G. Along with me is Harry Perry, and we're going to be taking you guys through this game. Harry, what are you looking forward to get things started?
So this is a really David versus Goliath story. Beaufort County has outscored their opponents 56-3 in tournament play so far. In fact, defeating Latta just the other day to continue their undefeated stretch. Latta did battle back and has really been the true underdog story, not giving up, hitting a walk-off to be in this game today. So whether it's skill or belief in each other, it should be a really good game.
Yeah, that was an exciting game last night. There was a beautiful sunset, 7-7. That walk-off was just something you want to be a part of. That's got to give you some momentum to, push you into the championship the next morning.
So starting day on the mound for Latta is Caden Lee. Caden Lee, one of the more passionate people we've seen here at the tournament, and has done pretty well. The only time he kind of faltered was last time Beaufort and Latta played. He seemed to let his emotions get the best of him, and it started to go from a very close game to Beaufort County really pouring it on. So hopefully he can refocus and use his passion like he has in the other games and dominate on the mound and keep it a close game.
Just to take you guys through the rest of the field for Latta, playing first base today is Logan Bird. Second base is JJ Welch. At third base is Bryson Berry. Out in left field is Braxton Bailey. Center field is Reese Rouse, and the right fielder is Nick Mendez. And like you said, Caden Lee on the mound, and behind the plate, catching today is Zach Lane.
He also pitches a call behind the plate, but Wes McCall is actually DH, and he did really well hitting yesterday in their game versus Loris, where they ended up winning. Really led by some of their stars out there, and then one surprise star, Nick Mendez, hitting that walk-off to bring home everybody, but they were really driven by a great hitting by McCall and a huge bomb hit by Logan Bird and great base running by JP Bly. So if they can get Caden Lee to focus his passion, because he is a great ball player, along with some big stars in Logan Bird and JP Bly, I think that they will have quite a good game on their hands versus juggernaut of Beaufort County.
Yep, and with that, that's going to bring us to the beginning of this game. Kicking things off for Beaufort County is Jackson Riley. Riley is wearing number 5, playing second base today for Beaufort County. Riley had quite a bit of success yesterday in their Mercy Rule win last night.
Jackson Riley is the leadoff batter, and a lot of people know that typically your leadoff batter is a guy that's very consistent at getting on base, but what makes Jackson Riley so deadly is his legs. He is very fast and knows how to run the bases very well, which is a skill of its own.
Yep, Beaufort County as a whole was very aggressive on the bases as he shows bunt for his first pitch, pulls back. That one called for a quick strike one to Riley.
Now, last time Latta and Beaufort County played, it was a slow start for both teams and started to pour on at the end of the third inning.
And that one way on the outside, ball 2.
Being careful with the batting order, Latta has changed up their batting order to put their big hitter back in the 3-hole, whereas in Beaufort County likes to keep Ian Steiner in their 3-hole, and that is another guy who has hit a home run.
Yeah, I think out of the games I've called, I don't think I've seen a single home run yet. So it'll be exciting to see if these two, big offenses would be able to get something done here in this game, as it's quickly turned into a 2-1 count to Riley. Takes a hack at that one, not able to do anything with it. 2-2.
So far, there's actually only been 2 home runs hit this whole series, and each team has one of those guys on it. Ian Steiner hit a grand slam, in fact, to just oval to Beaufort County to dominating that other game. Once again, it was another Mercy Rule game. I believe that one was versus Jefferson. I might be wrong. And Logan Bird's the only person to be intentionally walked this whole tournament. He's been intentionally walked 4 times.
Foul once again for a strike, still 2-2. And yeah, like you mentioned, I was going to mention Logan Bird. He hasn't got a lot of chances to bat because it seems like they don't even want to mess with the power that he holds.
But I do think that the power of Steiner can also do the same type of damage. Beaufort County has so much depth in their pitching, and their field is immaculate. They have not really had many errors out there, and that is what has separated them. They almost are like an anaconda and just suffocate their opponent as the game goes on.
Mm-hmm. The 2-2 pitch way inside with Riley moving out of the way of that one. Full count. This has been a nice quality at bat to start things off. We had a discussion last night about what's considered a quality at bat. But I think if you're seeing a lot of pitches, especially as a first batter, that's what you want to do against, these pitchers with their pitch count.
Especially here at Dixie, you only get 95 pitches. So very rarely do we see a young man pitch a complete game. The closest person that has gotten to it, I believe, was a guy on Loris named Mishu, and he did it 2 times, going all the way to the 7th inning.
He gets a hold of that one. I think that one stays foul. It was a hard shot off of his bat, but once again, another foul ball. And like you said, I mean, this is what has to be a 6th or 7th pitch he's seen so far in this leadoff at bat. Going to want to work things against Lee. And like you said, Lee's talented out there on the mound, working him early so you can't see him later in the game. And like you said, Beaufort County, the anaconda, they tend to start a little slow, but they just keep on pushing as the game goes by. This one foul again, this time on the right field side. Was way high.
This is what you want to see for Beaufort County. Latta only has 10 people on the roster. I think maybe 10 or 11 people on the roster, which is one of the lowest roster numbers, I think, besides Loris. So
puts
having a
this
good
one
quality at bat, that's a foul ball. Having a good quality at bat early on with Caden Lee on the mound, he's their best pitcher, and I believe they also still have available Zach Lane. I will verify that next chance I get. But Zach Lean's also a pretty solid pitcher. So Caden Lee's got to keep his composure, keep calm, and he's still pitching some good balls as he gets his first K, as I say that.
Yeah, that was a strikeout for Jackson Riley, but hey, he saw 12 pitches in that at bat. You're going to be a little upset with the strikeout, but nothing to hang your head about. That's a lot of pitches for only being one batter against Caden Lee. But that brings Logan Cotter, the shortstop, to bat now for Beaufort County, wearing number 11. Cotter, another one of those big bats for Beaufort. He may not be out here, hitting the home runs, but he does his job and gets on base well. Takes the first pitch for strike 1.
So Logan Cotter trying to help Beaufort County 14U boys cash their ticket to state, as his younger brother has already become a state champion this tournament.
Must run in the family for the Cotters. Beaufort County, amazing showing out here in this tournament.
Yeah. For those of you who didn't see yesterday, the 13U Beaufort County boys, led by Alex Hunt as the head coach, cashed their ticket to the Dixie World Series, played in Alabama next weekend.
It's going to be a hot one. If you think it's hot here, it's a lot hotter down there in Bama. 1-2, the count now, as Cotter took another strike. Swings at that one and a miss, and that is back-to-back strikeouts for Caden Lee. A nice way to start out there on the mound. I mean, despite the 12-pitch at bat, back-to-back strikeouts. You don't see that too often coming from this Beaufort County team.
But as I said, especially with a coach like Danny Morgan, who's been around a long time, not only coaching at the youth level, but even coaching in the high school level, he is completely okay with a couple qualities at bat early on to wear down the pitcher. Ian Steiner watches his first pitch go strike.
Yeah, we've been talking about him for 2 batters now. Ian Steiner up to bat, the center fielder for Beaufort County. And yeah, like you said, quality at bats are just as important as anything else. Gets a hold of this one. It's far dead center over the fence for a solo home run.
The big bat shows its face early. Ian Steiner trying to show that he may be the heavyweight champ. of the home run hit balls for this 2023 Dixie tournament.
I don't think it gets much better than that. Dead center, perfect off the bat. As soon as that one, you knew that was gone.
And as you know, with one of these, that is one of the most one of the farthest distance we'll see hit by a home run because it was dead center right over the American flag. On almost a line. That was not a high hit ball. That was straight shot. So that means that ball had a lot of velocity coming back off of it.
Like I said, I think everything about that was just absolutely perfect. It doesn't get much better than that one. But that was he made it around those bases pretty quickly too. Didn't take his time at all. But Colin Sanchez steps to bat, the left fielder, hitting in the 4-hole.
Colin Sanchez enjoys honey buns for breakfast. That's his favorite food.
Wonder if he ate any to get himself hyped up for this game.
Sure, this is an early game as that ball's hitting the gap.
Yep, all over that one. The center fielder came over, picked that one up, holding him up there at first. 2 down, Beaufort County with a little rally going now, back-to-back hits. As Chase Kalila steps up to bat, the third baseman.
Don't let his size fool you. Chase Kalila's got a great arm on him as he is the starting third baseman for Beaufort County, which means he's got a rifle on his right side there.
Yeah, he looks more like maybe a second baseman just by looking at him. But yeah, you're right. He's going to take a quick timeout, get another extra swing. Lee checking out Sanchez over there at first. But Kalila steps back in. Takes a big cut at that first pitch for strike one. And like I said, Beaufort County, they've been aggressive on the bases. They like to steal every chance they get. Going to be interesting to see what Sanchez does right here. Although they're working with 2 outs, might want to be a little bit more safe. That one inside for ball 1.
Now, what seemed to be the downfall for Latta last time was the pitcher's agitation with trying to pick off the base runners. At one point, his downfall was when he threw 6 straight pickoff attempts to the first baseman.
And that one is in play on the ground out to right field. 3 straight hits for Beaufort County, and Sanchez makes his way to third. Kalila up easy at first.
Great place ball right here.
Brings up the designated hitter, number 7.
Yep, he just found that gap right there between the second and the first baseman without a doubt. A single.
So already a man in scoring position with Colin Sanchez on third. Anthony Seminara is also getting the start at pitcher today. So he is listed as the DH, but he's also pitching. What that does is it allows the DH position to stay open and him to remain in it even if he's subbed out as the pitcher. So strategic move right there.
They're going to try to catch Beaufort sleeping on the bases, but Sanchez does not bite on that one. He hangs out there at third with Kalila now at second. Both runners in scoring position for Seminara here.
And we've seen a lot of comebacks from both teams. I'm sorry, not from both teams, from Latta. As that brings it to a 1-1 count. But Latta yesterday was losing the game and ended up coming back, rallied by Logan Bird's big home run.
And Caden Lee on the mound is going to take a step back and call his catcher. Probably didn't like a pitch that he was calling or try to figure out something better. I think he was telling him check out the runner at third. I kind of can't tell what he was saying down there.
Their strategy right now, in my opinion, is probably going to be to get Colin Sanchez to commit because they have changed their catcher up. Zach Lane's got a little bit more speed than McCall, who's actually DHing for Latta today. That might be the strategy. They put a more secure glove on first base with Logan Bird, who's typically their starting third baseman. So they've kind of spread out their good gloves. They got JP Bly at shortstop over there and Logan Bird on the right side.
Seminara fouled that one, working with 2 strikes now and a ball. Swings at this one. And the catcher's going to drop it, but he's going to get that out at first. And that will be 3 down.
And that's a good first inning for Latta. That's what you want. They contained the scoring. They left 2 guys in scoring position. No errors, though. So that's kind of what you want. Just always hitting. And we'll be right back at the bottom of the first inning as Latta gets their first attempt at bat.
Welcome back here to Bluffton, South Carolina. It's the bottom of the first inning, Beaufort County versus Latta. Beaufort County was only able to pull across 1 run with a Ian Steiner solo home run. Kicking things off for Latta is J.P. Bly, the shortstop. And we'll see if he is able to face Anthony Seminara out there on the mound for Beaufort. Huge swing and a miss on his first pitch, making it quickly 0-1 here.
JP Bly is another one of these leadoff batters that can really fly, especially with a last name like Bly. Makes it fun to say when he gets round the bases here, but Anthony Seminara trying to do his best to not let him even touch a bag.
Yeah, that was a quick 2 strikes there from Seminara. He's going to step off the mound real quick. Take a look around, and the 0-2 pitch inside for ball 1.
Actually I think that hit our umpire on the leg. Maybe they got his glove right in front of it, but I did not get to see. JP Bly is a multi-sport athlete, also plays basketball. He's a big fan of the LA Dodgers.
All right.
Bly gets a hold of that one. He sends it high in the air, and the shortstop's going to come back, call everyone off of that one, and pick it up for a quick out number 1. So that brings number 99, Caden Lee, the pitcher, to bat.
Caden Lee has an interesting sports idol. It's actually Serena Williams. Serena Williams, if for those of you who don't know, probably one of the most prolific women's tennis player, or one of the most dominant people in her own sport.
Yeah, I think that's the first women athlete I've heard from any of the players. I don't think I've gotten to call a Latta game yet.
He's been a pretty spectacular player, but just like Serena Williams, he channels his inner passion to drive himself to success a lot of times. He's looking at a 2-0 count, 1 out.
That one way outside, 3-0. Now to Caden Lee. Anthony Seminara out there on the mound. 3 straight balls.
I remember Anthony growing up. through the rec program. There's another strike.
We thought that one was ball four. He was about halfway down to first base by the time he turned around and decided to walk back. He looked like he was about ready to launch that bat over to his dugout. He steps back in with the 3-1 hitters count. Swings at this one, sends it high right field, steps in, but the second baseman goes back and grabs that one, and that is 2 down. That looked like almost the same hit, just on opposite sides of the field there. Shortstop and second baseman getting that work in. Logan Cotter and Jackson Riley.
Teams have seen their most success hitting on base versus Beaufort has been finding the gap on the ground between the shortstop and the second baseman. A ball hit with good velocity off the ground.
Yeah, you're right about that one. We've seen a lot. Also, like that 5-6 hole. Keep banging that, and you're going to get on base all day long.
Here's that Latta's coach was warned in the dugout from the umpire out there. If I'm not mistaken, Latta did have a coach kicked out of the first game, so hopefully there just seemed to be some kids talking a little bit too loudly, as you don't like to see that. But here's Logan Bird, and they're going to pitch to him.
And they're going to call that one a strike. It looks like he took a little check swing on that. Didn't fully commit, but they're going to call it for strike one. And yeah, they're going to pitch to him. Beaufort County ain't scared to face this big bat. It's that one inside for a ball.
Now, if he can get a hold of it, that would mimic exactly what Ian Steiner did, and this could be a battle of the bats. But like I said, right now he's picking and choosing his pitching. Might work inside then outside to try to get him off his rhythm and swing.
Just like you said, that one way on the outside. Ball 2.
Sometimes with big hitters, pitchers aren't normally afraid to face a big hitter. They're more afraid to face a consistent batter. A big hitter is somebody that sometimes can either take a yard or strike out.
That one past the catcher. 3-1 the count now to Logan Bird.
A big bat is kind of like being an old school gunslinger, a Brett Favre style guy. It's either going to be a touchdown or it's going to be an interception. So for a big bat to get a quality at bat is very effective as well, even if he's not able to get on base.
That was a huge cut right there from Logan Bird on that outside corner. Full count.
I think that would have been a ball if he would have let it go.
Bird, he ain't wanting to walk. He's wanting to get a hit in
He
there.
wants to get a hit, he does. And that's not what Logan Bird wants to see.
Pitcher picks that one up, Seminar, and he doesn't even toss it to first. He just takes that one himself. 3 up, 3 down for Beaufort County, and that will do it for the first inning.
We'll be right back on BCTV.
Welcome back here to the top of the second inning. Beaufort County up to bat once again as they are leading this one 1-0. They got 3 straight outs against the top of the Latta order. Kicking things off for Beaufort County is number 15, Carson Comer, the catcher.
Carson Comer's favorite movie is Forrest Gump.
I've seen a couple of them say that, and Forrest Gump was filmed here in Beaufort County, if I'm correct, right?
Yep, shot majority here in Beaufort County and also in Savannah. The famous bench scene is in Savannah.
Shows bunt on that, pulls back. They're going to call it a strike anyway. Quickly 0-1 to Carson Comer.
A couple of Beaufort County's athletic fields were actually used in the shooting of the Alabama scene when Forrest is playing as the kick returner for Alabama.
A huge cut on the outside for Comer. He's quickly working from behind here, 0-2.
Let's not forget, Caden Lee did start off the beginning of the first very well last time, starting off with 2 Ks. And then I believe a single was hit.
The home run, and then, yeah, back-to-back singles. The one to left field, and then the one on the ground out to right field. So he let up 3 straight hits, but only 1 scored. But yeah, he started things off with 3 strikeouts. 1-2 now to Carson Comer. He gets a hold of this one. It's high, and it bounces right before it gets to the center fielder, and he's going to be up easy for a single.
These outfielders are playing a little bit deeper than you usually see, but they're probably just respecting the fact of the distance that these teams get far. It appears right now Latta's weak spot is in between the infield and outfield, whereas in Beaufort's weak spot would be on the ground, like you said, in between that 5 and 6 hole, or between that 4 and 6 hole.
Yeah, you're right. I think if Reese Rouse was playing just a couple more steps in, he would have been all over that one. But they are going to sub Carson Comer out for a base runner. I can't quite see which number they. Is it Wyatt Lath, possibly?
That is Wyatt Laven. You can tell by his signature hair.
Up to bat now, Tucker Nelson, the first baseman. He shows that bunt, pulls back. This time, it's a ball.
And as we heard earlier in this tournament, as Alex was holding this game for Beaufort County, Wyatt Laven, an Iron Man out there, actually had an appendectomy midway through the season and battled his way back and made the All-Star team. He's a great player. That is a strike.
I can't even imagine going through something like that. I don't know what the normal recovery time is, but whew.
It's a tough young man.
Yeah. No kidding. And the 1-0 pitch to Nelson. He swings foul, almost hits his own teammate. Warming up, Brody Mills over there. Getting a couple of practice swings in.
Tucker Nelson, also one of the pitchers for Beaufort County. He's just listed as a pitcher, but got the nod today at first base. Also plays football and golf.
A lot of opportunities to golf down here in this area. And that one gets away from Caden Lee. I don't know if he just missed his release on that one, but Carson Comer at second now on the pass ball. Wild pitch, excuse me.
So far, Caden Lee seems to be working the same type of strategy that Anthony Seminara did, where he's working inside once and then trying to pop out 2 or 3 outside pitches and then dropping one in on the inside.
Caught him swinging on that one. 2 strikes now to Tucker Nelson.
Caden Lee has a lot of talent in his arm, and he knows really how to manipulate the ball. I'm not really sure.
Number 8, Brody.
I assume that he striked out. There was no big old empathetic or I cannot speak right now. Big old exciting showing from the umpire as a normal K received. So it does go down in the book as a strikeout.
Yeah, I missed that one as well. I thought, and I was looking at the board and I thought there was only two, but out number one for Latta is Brody Mills is batting now, the right fielder. He shows bunt, pulls back, strike.
Another thing that I've noticed from Caden Lee is if somebody shows bunt, he throws it straight down the barrel. He's almost daring them to do it, which really speaks to the type of athlete that he is. He is a very good one and a bold one at that, and it has done very well for him, especially being a lefty. He could go far if he continues to grow as an athlete.
He's gonna check out Lather out there at second, who gets back easily.
This is still a tight game, so no reason to fret with Latta, no reason to overdo yourselves. Just play the ball game, focus on what's at hand, and do one job at a time.
But yeah, like you said, Beaufort, they're showing that bunt. They haven't laid it down yet.
There it is.
Just as I say that, a beautiful bunt. Absolutely perfect. Caden Lee dove after that one, wasn't able to come up clean with it, and Mills is safe.
Up top of the order.
Moving Carson Colmer over to
Second baseman.
third.
Jackson Riley.
It's almost like we jinxed the bunt right there.
It's like when you're watching the NFL game and they said, this guy hasn't missed a kick all year. And then he blows a kick, 25-yarder.
Feel that one as an Ohio State fan.
Should. All jokes here. I'm not a Penn State fan. I am a big Panther fan as we see our first strike for Jackson Riley.
Yep, Riley back up to bat again. He struck out in his first at bat. I think we saw the same thing last night. He struck out, but then he got on base the next 3 attempts. Already working with a strike here. They throw over there to first at Brady Mills, and Lather's gonna hold up over there at third.
Attempting a pickoff in this situation is not a smart decision, and I hope somebody is telling that to Caden Lee. With a man on third trying to pick somebody off at first base will no doubtably bring home that person on third base, and Lather's waiting for it.
With the steal, Mills at second. They attempt to get Lather over there on third. He dives back safe. Now both these runners in scoring position here for top of the order, Jackson Riley.
That was a clean attempt there by Zach Lane, and that is something that you want to see. He's going to accept the pitch that is taken on and immediately pop his shoulders up, turn towards the third baseman, which is ideally what you want to see.
Where should the first base umpire be?
That one outside for a ball. It's 1-2 now to Riley. Lee been focused on those base runners, but he needs to focus right here on this at bat. And Riley swings, he fouls it off. Looks like he barely got a hold of that one, but it's going to keep him alive here as he does have 2 strikes.
Let's not forget, Latta's got to give themselves credit, especially Caden Lee's got to give himself credit. Last time out there when Beaufort was at bat, they left 2 guys in scoring position, and they were able to get out of the situation. So they're able to get out of the situation with little to no scoring. They just have to remain focused on this. But Zach Lane, the switch up in catcher, a little bit faster, so it might work out for him.
And that one off the end of Lane's bat into right field on the ground. It gets past the right fielder, and that's going to score 2 for Beaufort County. Carson Colmer, who had Wyatt Lather in to run for him, as well as Brady Mills. And Beaufort County is up 3-0 on the single from Jackson Riley.
This is still a very tight game. It might not seem like it with just allowing 2 runs on a solo shot there, as they got squeak past Bird and the second baseman, but they really have their second baseman drifted towards second base. But what has happened so far is Beaufort County has just found the hole, stuck with it.
Yep, that one was just, right off the end of Bird's glove. And I think, you know, the home runs from Ian Steiner, those are nice, but it's really these singles. Just get it on the ground, make them have to make a play. That's what's going to win you these ball games. Just stringing together little singles and hits.
County is a very smart base running team. They're very baseball. They have a lot of baseball awareness. I cannot speak today. We're starting this game a little bit earlier than usual, and I wish I could blame it on not drinking coffee, but I don't drink coffee. So this is just me by myself.
I envy you. I can't go without it. And Lee attempted to throw to first, and Riley's gonna he was running so fast, it looked like he was trying to steal, but they're gonna call that one a balk, and he's at second now.
Logan Cotter, the starting shortstop, was responsible for catching a pop fly in the first inning. His favorite food is salmon, and his favorite pro baseball team, the Pittsburgh Pirates.
And he's gonna wear that one on the ankle to give Beaufort County another base runner. Still only one down here.
Fielder number 12, also.
As Ian Steiner steps up to bat, it will be interesting to see if they're going to pitch to him or maybe give him the Logan Bird treatment.
Not sure. This may be one of the worst scenarios that you see with just one out, and you bring up Beaufort's biggest bat with two men on base. Now, they're not in scoring position, but still, if you're cranking that to left field or down center, you don't need to be in scoring position or run in home for the Logan's. I did what you did yesterday, Ian Steiner.
They might as well just switch names at this point. I mean, whew.
Jinx myself.
Steiner, let's go with that one low, and there they are, right there, scoring position, and he's not going to slow down. Slides, and he is safe.
Caught the catcher sleeping on that.
Jackson Riley, like you mentioned, his first at bat, he has some legs on him, and he is not afraid to use them. He didn't even slow down, rounding third, full speed ahead. 4-0 now, Beaufort.
You can kind of feel it happening. Beaufort County slowly starting to tighten down on Latta, trying to take the wind out of them with aggressive base running. When you have somebody with the speed and base running ability of Jackson Riley, that is a call that Danny Morgan, I believe, is going to make every time. He's going to trust his players. Probably the reason they've been so successful. Great sign of a good coach, and a great coach is the ability to not only teach your players the right thing to do, but trust them in the decisions that you have instilled in them.
And I think, you know, Riley just kind of caught him sleeping right there. That's not something you see very often. You don't really expect if they're on second for them to even be coming home. But like you said, we're seeing some of that passion from Caden Lee out there.
And that was one of the reasons that I know that Latta made the change at catcher, was to put a little bit quicker guy back there, as you'll see some of these teams do at this age when you're really trying to expand the strike zone with your pitches. Zach Lane's used for his foot speed, but I think he just kind of got looking on that one.
Umpire seems like he's arguing a bit with Latta's coach. No clue what they're saying from up here.
As Bob Rozak probably says, what we're all thinking is they're just talking about what they're going to order for lunch, folks at home. Nothing bad being said, just some conversation about if they're going to get pepperoni pizza or if they're going to go out there and get Hawaiian.
Ian Steiner still batting here. 3-1, 2-1.
One out still.
Been a long at bat for Steiner here. Swings at that one, gets a piece of it, but fouls it straight back into the fence. And it's a 2-2 count to Steiner, who now only has one base runner on, Logan Cotter at third. And he swings and he misses, and that is a strikeout. That is a big out right there for Latta. That's the second out of the inning. And that brings number 14, Colin Sanchez, to bat, the left fielder for Beaufort.
Colin Sanchez, favorite sports writer, David Ortiz, or as many of us know, Big Papi. Going to try to do his best impression of Big Papi, as we all loved him. As he watches a strike go in there. Big Papi was known for his home run hitting. Now, I might be wrong, and I'm gonna double check with my collegiate pitcher up here. It is scarier to see a more consistent batter than it is to see a big bat. Is that correct?
Absolutely.
A lot of these young men see a kid hit a home run and start to hesitate. So another strike comes in. Start to hesitate versus a big bat, but what you should be worried about is maybe the guys in the 1 and 2 hole, because they're the ones putting you in a tough predicament, and they're the ones that's going to hit the ball.
And they're the ones that's going to see a lot of pitches as well, like we've seen already. But Sanchez swings, and that's back-to-back strikeouts for Caden Lee. All 3 of those outs were from Lee, with 3 strikeouts for him. And that will do it for the Beaufort County second inning.
And we'll be right back at BCTV.
And welcome back here, bottom of the second inning. Latta down 4-0 now to Beaufort County. They went 3 up, 3 down in their first at bat. But hey, they have another chance right here, as leading things off is Weston McCall, the designated hitter. McCall swung, got a piece of that first one for strike 1.
Weston McCall was actually the man brought home by Nick Mendez yesterday to win the game. He has a pretty consistent bat. He's a consistent batter. As he puts it up in the air towards the right field.
And that,
One down.
yep, that was an easy one right there for Brody Males out there in right field. 4 straight outs now. Beaufort County.
Latta's got to have a little bit better back control playing Beaufort County. They can't hit these high pop flies that they keep hitting. If they're going to hit it, it's got to either be on a rope or try to play it in the ground opposite field.
And there's another one high. Center fielder's going to call that one off and take it for out number 2. After a Zach Lane attempt on the first pitch. And that will bring up Bryson Berry, the third baseman.
Bryson Berry and Logan Bird actually switched today in the field. Logan Bird, the typical third baseman for Latta, and Bryson Berry, the typical first baseman. They just flip-flop, traded shoes, and it's time to walk a mile in each other's shoes.
Yeah, and then it's very different between third base and first base for sure. You don't really see too many grounders if you're playing first, but third, all day. And this one high once again, and this second baseman's going to call off the center fielder and the shortstop, and that is 6 straight now for Beaufort.
Beaufort County has been lights out in the field, as we touched on at the beginning of the game, for why Beaufort County has been so successful is defensively. Everybody wants to talk about the batting, but defensively, they suck the wind out of them. The best example that I can keep giving is they're very similar to an anaconda or a python. They just slowly suffocate their opponents. And if Latta can't seem to spark some type of offense, because Latta hasn't played that bad in the field. A couple hiccups there in the second where you can kind of see some frustration, well-hit balls, but still, they're still very much in this game, especially with some exciting hitters that they have on their team.
Yeah, you're right about that. They're just going to have to get things going if they want to stay in it. They aren't seeing enough pitches, swinging at everything almost, and almost every time hitting it straight into the air.
Sometimes if you watch somebody that's very comfortable in their batting ability, many times they'll watch the first pitch go by and not even attempt to swing at it, never take the bat off their shoulder.
Seminara, 2-0.
Chase Quella is the leadoff batter for Beaufort County, starting third baseman.
Kalila was able to get on base in his last at bat. I don't quite remember what he did or how, but I think he had the single on the ground out to right field in his last at bat. And Caden Lee still out there on the mound for Latta.
I spoke to the Latta coaches, and their plan is as long as Caden Lee can remain focused, he's going to remain on the mound as long as his pitch count doesn't get too high, which, as we saw the very first at bat, was Jackson Riley. He pitched him 12 balls. That's a lot of pitches wasted on one player. As I mentioned, Dixie is very important for the health and safety of their players. So they put pitch counts on players to make sure that they have the longevity to not only play the sport well in the coming days, but in the future of their careers.
Yeah, like you said, the 12 pitches to the first batter. Meanwhile, Anthony Seminara only has 20 pitches in total this whole game so far. He's hasn't had to put in a lot of effort yet, and it's just letting his, I was gonna say, just letting his defense do the work. Go ahead.
That's what I was exactly going to say. He hasn't thrown many strikeouts. I don't think he's thrown any strikeouts.
Nope.
I think it's all been field work. So there's different types of pitchers in the world. Some of them know how to put the ball in just enough of a difficult area where you can get it, and allowing your defense to do its work.
And I mean, when you have a defense like Beaufort does, it's okay to do that. You don't have to do all the work by yourself. They've been lights out so far this game. But that brings Chase Kalila to the plate for third baseman for his second at bat of the game. And that's 2 straight strikes to Kalila.
It's almost night and day pitching, as we see. When Latta has been successful is when Caden Lee is throwing strikes. When Beaufort's been successful, Anthony's letting him hit the ball. They're just hitting it right to the players.
And I mean, he's had, if I'm correct, 6 strikeouts here. Every out has been a strikeout.
He hasn't had much help from his defense, and that's not saying that his defense has played bad. What it's saying is Beaufort County has great ball control when they are hitting the ball. They have great ball placement, is a better terminology to use.
And this is a little pop-up. It lands, you can see the chalk flying, landed right on the line, but it spins foul. 1-2, the count to Kalila.
That's a tough play for the catcher to make, but I do think Zach Lane has the speed and ability to get there. But it is also very hot out there today, always humid down here in the low country, and wearing all that gear is not easy.
And he puts this one into play. It's a line drive just over the glove of the shortstop, and that is a single for Kalila. Back-to-back singles for him as the leading things off here in the third.
Seminara.
Anthony Seminara, the pitcher / DH, to bat now.
That is a very well hit ball because JP Bly is a very talented shortstop. I've seen him now for 2 years, and he gets a lot of plays, but has not been able to come up with that one. It was just a hair above his glove. You can see him kind of shaking his head. He's upset. He thought he could have had that one.
Seminara attempts the pick off to Kalela, but nothing happens. Kalela's going to try the steal, sliding in safe, easily.
That was a very good throw by Zach Lane. Because Coelho's got just a little bit more speed than he did on that.
Yeah, and I mean, he had himself a really nice leadoff before that one. You don't see too many people getting thrown out at second despite the amount of steal attempts. And now we're going to call that one for a strike.
So far, Beaufort County has picked off 6 runners coming into yesterday's game, but not many of them. Sorry,
Going to put this one into play, bouncing on the ground just past the glove of the second baseman. And Kalela is going to come in to score from second. 5-0 now.
And as I mentioned, he's actually a substitution on the bench. Gibson the other day. Probably a 1A catcher, one of the best catchers I saw. He had the arm and ability to get it to the second base. The only other person I've been able to see do that consistently was Phoenix Shapiro, and his specialty was picking them off on third. So
I saw Shapiro with a beautiful throw to second and a pickoff last night. It was just absolutely bang bang, perfect one.
That's a tough play, and you're right. We don't see much of it, but when you do see it, it's captivating. It makes you appreciate how talented some of these young men are.
Educating these guys about
And
trying to do.
Beaufort coach is out talking to the umpires.
Yeah, I think that's once again they're talking about lunch. This game is right before lunchtime.
Who's on first?
And Chloe, speaking of favorite foods, what's your favorite food?
Great question. I think I like seafood. But like moving from Ohio down here, I've kind of got a little spoiled. I'll only eat it here. Back in Ohio, I won't touch it. But whenever I'm here, that's all I want to eat. What about you?
I am a big taco guy or burrito, but also very, very, very avid eater of pasta. Me being Italian, it's cooked almost every night between my mom and my grandmother.
So 2 very good choices. And now that we're talking about it, it is getting me hungry here already. It's almost 11 o'clock here. Still having a conversation down there on the field.
Don't know the rules. That's the problem.
Well, while we're talking about favorite food, Carson Homer's favorite food is goldfish. He's a big snacker, big snack guy. Goldfish. I hope he's talking about the snack goldfish and not cooking your goldfish.
Just take it straight from the fish tank and just swallow it. That sounds like good protein. I don't know.
I've seen people do it in my life. Makes me sad for the fish.
Yeah, no kidding. I wonder if he keeps any of the goldfish snacks in the dugout with him as a little energizer between innings. And he takes that one for a ball, and we're back underway here with Seminara still out there at first.
If I was Latta, I would slide their second baseman a little bit closer to first base and allow JP Bly to use his speed. Not that I don't trust the first baseman, but just so many balls have been hit in that gap, and they're so worried about picking off the runner going to second. JP Bly's got the speed to get there.
Yeah, I mean, they are just leaving it wide open here.
Leaving it wide open, and Beaufort County has taken advantage of it so many times, and the only reason they are up.
And that one's going to be a strike to Comer, and a little pass ball. Seminara is now standing out there on second. Still nobody down here in the top of the third. That one outside for a ball. Yeah, if you're Comer, just, shift your body a little bit, and I would just be hammering that right side.
Want to be aiming almost to the right, our right of that umpire. Get there. That's great grounding right there.
And that's the opposite of what we were talking about, but that was a nice snag by Bryson Berry over there on third. He got that one just in
First baseman, number 13.
outside of his glove, and with a nice start of first, and that is the first out as Tucker Nelson steps up to bat.
Beaufort County not selfish on hitting. We've seen a lot of these guys continuously play the game of chess. Hit the ball away from where they want to go or away from where their runner is that they want to keep, so the fielders get distracted. As right there, Seminar did the right thing. He hesitated before the third baseman grabbed it. Once the ball was thrown to first, he took off and got himself a swarm.
Yeah, and I don't think Barry even gave him a second look out there at second. Like you said, really nice base running. And that one on the outside caught Nelson swinging, and he's working from behind here. 0-2. The count quickly.
Tucker Nelson in his free time likes playing wiffle ball.
Wonder if he likes to get, wiffle ball, they curve a lot. See if he can get a nice curveball going.
Catch right there by Zach.
Yeah, that was a bit of a wild pitch, but you got to hang on to that one or you're giving up another run. 1-2. He gets a hold of this one. It's high in the air, and it's going to be in that little no man's land out past first base, and that is a single for Tucker Nelson, paired with an RBI. Anthony Seminara coming in to score. 6-0 Beaufort on top. That brings Beaufort County down to the bottom of their lineup. Brody Males back up to bat. Males was able to score in his last at bat.
That was Nick Mendez out there not able to get there. They really have shifted their field to the left.
And a steal on the first pitch is wild out into the outfield, and he's going to pop up, takes a second, and he makes his way to third on the wild throw. Tucker Nelson now at third.
As soon as Zach Lean let go of that ball, he started shaking his head. He knew he let go of it at the wrong spot.
And that one is a ball, and it's 2-0 now to Brady Males.
So like we've mentioned many times before, both these teams are all-stars in their own right. So being tested versus another team with a lot of power can sometimes be discouraging, but it's always the teams that seem to stick in it, keep their heads up high, and keep plugging away, which we have seen Latta do that yesterday, but this is a different beast that they're facing here in Beaufort County, as Beaufort County is winning 6-0, and as we mentioned, only allowed 3 points against them in the whole tournament.
And that one too high for a ball. Like you said at the beginning of this one, it's like David versus Goliath out here against Beaufort County. And that one's high, and that'll be a walk to Brody Males. And there's runners on the corners now as we are back to the top of the lineup with Jackson Riley.
People seem to misconstrue what helped David win versus Goliath. People like to think it was a slingshot tool, but it was his confidence. Was the only reason he won that. The only reason he was even in that fight in the first place was he believed in himself, and that is the biggest part of sports. It's not sometimes the skill you have; it's the guy that's unfailing in his ability to quit, and he stays with it. So hopefully, Latta can inspire themselves in there to make this a little bit closer of a game.
And Riley swings at that one off the end of his bat for a foul. Both runners in Scoring position now is it's 1-1. Brody Mail's making his way to second on the first pitch.
This was the inning that came apart for Latta last time Beaufort County played. It was right around the third inning.
And that one way outside with Riley flashing a bunt. Pulling back 2-1.
I'm going to check to see how many pitches Caden Lee has. How many pitches does Caden Lee have? 76 pitches in the third inning. That's a lot of pitches. Almost 25 an inning. Brings it to 77.
Like every time I get this mic on, I gotta sneeze for some reason. It's weird. I hope not. Yeah, 70-something pitches. That is a lot. But Jackson Riley with a beautiful swing, just miss it. Full count now to Riley.
Jackson Riley last time out there, almost a crazy man attempt to steal from second to home with the ball in the catcher's hand. That brings us to a full count here, both hands in the cookie jar. Caden Lee looking for a chocolate chip. Let's hope he doesn't get an oatmeal raisin.
Well, you got against oatmeal raisin.
Creates a lot of trust issues.
That one in play, and the shortstop's not able to come up with it, and that's going to score Tucker Nelson. Jackson Riley safe at first, and they attempt to throw Mails out at third, but they don't get him.
This is two very unusual plays for JP Bly, usually one of the more consistent players on Latta, one of the most seasoned veterans on the team, playing with the team since 8U. Him and Logan Bird have been through the team since they were 7 years old. So they've been together a long time. And looks like we're going to get a pitching change here. Putting the ball in the hands of the left fielder.
That will be Braxton Bailey coming into pitch for Latta. It's 7-0 here, Beaufort County. You know, they're just capitalizing on the mistakes, aggressive on the bases, and that's what it takes. That will be 80 pitches for Caden Lee through 3 innings.
I've never seen Braxton Bailey pitch for Latta. I assume that he may have pitched. Is that right, Bob? Has he pitched? Braxton Bailey? Getting his first time pitching in the championship game down 7-0.
Wait, that might not be the right. I don't know. Let's see. Check his number because we can't see his number. It's number 7.
Just the coach might be wanting to see.
Yep, it is him.
It's not pitched yet. This game, this tournament.
About for Latta.
Well, that's got to bring about some nerves if you're Bailey.
Coach and player myself, I love to see when people are put in tough predicaments, come in and just see how confident they can be, whether or not they come out victorious or not. Half the battle is just getting out there and being successful in its own right. So I guess we're going to take a brief intermission as Braxton gets warmed up, and we'll be right back here at BCTV.
And welcome back here in the third inning. Like we mentioned, we're seeing a new pitcher on the mound for Latta, Braxton Bailey, coming onto the mound. And this is going to be the first time he has pitched in this tournament.
I'm sure he has some experience pitching because on his information sheet, he does have right fielder and pitcher. Even though he did get to start at left field today, a lot of those guys are interchangeable in the outfield, but he did put himself down as a pitcher, so it will be interesting to see the umpires walking out there. Now, they're not able to use their standard closer in Logan Bird as he's pitched 2 back-to-back days, which Dixie requires that if you pitch 2 back-to-back days, you are ineligible for the 3rd straight day. So, Braxton Bailey, time to shine.
And that was an interesting steal out there for Riley. He went way early, didn't even get looked at. Two runners in scoring position now for Logan Cotter, the shortstop. And that one high and away for a ball.
Braxton Bailey, when he grows up, he wants to be a welder. Also enjoys playing football.
And the 2-0 pitch to Cotter. He swings. And it is strike one.
Braxton Bailey very focused on the batter, which may have worked out better an inning ago for Latta to let off the base runners and focus on the guy at hand.
And he swings at that one low and away. 2 strikes now.
Man, might turn out to do some good for Latta. It's time to see they have 2 men in scoring position, but we want to see a good ball game, even though Beaufort County is our hometown team.
And that one is going to wear it on his knee. Bases loaded for Ian Steiner.
And this is the case that Mr. Steiner has been before.
He said he's already hit 1 grand slam this tournament.
On hit of the tournament was Ian Steiner hitting a grand slam. So if you're going to do it, you're going to do it big. They're not going to walk him.
I don't know. I saw another team against Latta walk Ian Bird or Logan Bird. I don't know what is with these Ian and Logan. I don't know why I keep getting mixed up. But I saw them walk Logan Bird with bases loaded. And that's not a home run, but it is in the gap. And that's going to score 2 for Beaufort County. Brody Males and Jackson Riley. Making it 9-0 with a leadoff single in the gap for Steiner. That brings Colin Sanchez to bat, the left fielder.
So just so everybody's aware at home, the mercy rule is still far out of reach. It's still 6 runs away from Beaufort County. It is 15 after 3. 12 after 4, and 10 after 5. So there's still a lot of baseball to be played in this game.
And there's still only 1 down here as Sanchez swings at that one on the outside to make him down in the count 0-2. And Riley's now standing out there on second. Runners in scoring position once again here for Sanchez.
I really would like to see Latta fight back a little bit here. I say that they get their first K of this inning.
Yeah, that was some nice pitching right there for Braxton Bailey.
Danny Morgan's son.
Number 1.
Oh, coming into pinch hit for his first bat of the game.
Typically one of the utility outfielders for this team. He's done pretty well every time he's got into bat. pretty consistent hitter. So as of right now, he's got two men in scoring position. The man on second and the man on third. He has been known to lay down a pretty nice bunt, so let's see if he lays down a bunt here. But as I said, Zach Lane is behind plate there. He's got a little bit of speed on him, and I'm sure being an outfield, Braxton Bailey got some wheels on him too.
That one they're going to call for strike one. And yeah, like you said, I mean, there is two down, but if you're fast, and the last time Beaufort bunted, they were successful. Haven't tried it many times yet. Morgan with a hack at that one, 0-2.
Gotta say, Braxton Bailey put in what we call a lose-lose situation at times, but the kid is staying out there and he's showing his best, and I really got to give it to him that he has not lost his composure, and that's what you want to see.
That one outside, they're going to call it for a ball. That one was just barely out there. Zach Lane attempted to frame that one in, but not able to get the strike called. 1-2 the pitch. And he swings and misses, and that is...
Somebody's got to say something to somebody. Looks like it was a strike.
I think it was a strike. Catcher might have dropped it, but he tossed it down into first, and either way, that will do it. Back-to-back strikeouts for Braxton Bailey.
You got to give it to the kid. One thing that I enjoy more than anything in sports, obviously, besides just getting to know the kid, is seeing the building of character. Braxton Bailey showed some great character out there, and I'm very impressed. Hopefully, he can inspire Latta to bring this game closer. Because you like to see a close championship game. Nobody wants to see the Denver Broncos versus the Carolina Panthers like we did quite a number of years ago, where it was a absolute dismembering.
2-touchdown game.
We'll be back
13 pitches
at the bottom of the third inning in just a minute on BCTV.
Welcome back here to Bluffton, South Carolina. Beaufort County against Latta. Latta, they haven't been able to do much with their bats as there's been 6 straight outs. Beaufort County on top, 9-0. Kicking things off for Latta is going to be number 3, Reese Rouse, the center fielder.
One of the more intriguing stat lines for Beaufort County is even though they have gone 3 up, 3 down, 2 straight innings, not a single K was thrown by Anthony. That is saying that that's not saying that Anthony hasn't done a great job. He's done such a good job of putting the ball in hard places to hit, and he does it again as that goes to Cotter.
I think that makes only 21 pitches now for Seminara.
Actually, he's probably saving his arm better than we see in most, and that's how you get to a complete game, is allowing your defense to do a lot of the work.
Yeah, I mean, Latta right now, they're swinging at everything and they're almost popping it up every single time.
To sit on the first pitch. I agree with you, Chloe.
Yeah, they're not seeing enough pitches out there. That's 7 straight now.
00.
Nick Mendez comes in to bat wearing 00, the right fielder. And that one high and inside for a ball.
Oh, Nick Mendez is wearing 00. Yesterday, he was #1 in everybody's hearts for Latta, as he was the person that hit that high ball to left field to bring in the winning run. And it looks like he's going to do it again. And that's a fair ball. Nick Mendez, the normal DH, as he hits a clean double. And that young man, once again, trying to inspire Latta back into this game. Yesterday was a walk-off, almost identical hit that he hit yesterday versus Loris.
77.
That was a nicely placed ball right there. Colin Sanchez out there in left field. He was playing in a bit. And that one right near the foul line. A nice double for Mendez.
This kid hit. He's normally the DH.
J.J. Welch swings at the first pitch. It's high, and the first baseman's going to call this one out number 2.
Gotta stop swinging at the first pitch, guys. That is the 8th straight pop-up
Top
fly
order.
caught by Beaufort County, if I'm not mistaken. Besides the one, Nick Mendez, great place ball. Here comes J.P. Bly, and they're back at the top of their lineup. Hopefully these guys can get some work done and bring Nick Mendez home.
And Bly's going to wear that one right on his ribs.
Hitting shot there. These don't feel good.
No, he's going to walk his way slowly down to first. Probably wants to walk that one off a bit. This is the most runners Latta has had with 2 on.
It's going to bring up Durant. And Durant, I believe, is making one of his first appearances. He may have played 1 or 2 other times, but Josiah Durant is a very
Can't believe
usually is an outfielder, but he's going to get his very first time at bat in my calling of their games. His favorite food is seafood right there with the clothes.
All-Star. Josiah.
It's a good one.
Sport title is Michael Ernest Jordan, one of the greatest athletes of all time. It's a far strike outside, as that might be a Sherman Williams hitting the outside of that strike zone, as Brandon likes to say.
Yeah, that was a nice pitch right there for Seminara. And that one, it bounces in front of the catcher, but the runners are going to move. Mendez now at third after leading things off with a double, and Bly at second.
Looks like they got Phoenix Shapiro in there at catcher. He is responsible for a lot of pickoffs.
Yeah, and you can see him attempting to frame that one on that outside corner once again. Not able to get the call, but it is 2-1.
Tougher skills. If you're not tough enough to be a catcher, one of the tougher skills you see a lot of catchers develop is, as you said, framing the ball. Oh, right over second baseman's head, and Latta.
That was right over the second baseman's head, but the right fielder for Beaufort was not sleeping out there. He crashed in on that one, picked it up, and got that out at first. What a nice play and nice effort out there by Brody Males.
2 left. Coming up.
I think almost myself thought that they were going to get their first score. Once again, Nick Mendez had a hand in it, but the tremendous defense again by Beaufort County, just showing that they are a different breed out there as they go into the top of the 4th inning, 9-0, and we'll be right back here on BCTV.
Welcome back here to the top of the fourth inning. Beaufort County up to bat here once again after a spectacular way to end out the third inning with the throw out at first from right field. Brody Mills picking up on that one quickly to make the out.
Up to bat. Substitution. Michael Morgan is their reserve left-handed pitcher. Occasionally we'll see him out there in the outfield. But one of these players that has an arm that is captivating when he goes to throw. And once he learns how to control the ball, he is going to be a fierce pitcher at the higher levels.
Morgan last night, he hit a huge double to clear off the bases for Beaufort County. Was able to score 3 runs on that one.
He's going to be a valuable player as he goes on if he's a left-handed pitcher with some speed and can hit like that.
And the pitch to him is called for strike 1. Still facing Braxton Bailey out there on the mound for Latta. Bailey, who was able to pick up 2 strikeouts last inning.
This young man's doing a good job on for the situation he was put in.
I think that's 8 strikeouts Latta's been able to pick up. I think only one of their outs was from third base to first. 2 strikes now as it's 2-2 to Micah Morgan.
Micah Morgan, actually the nephew of Danny Morgan, the head coach, and cousin of Eli Morgan.
And he tattooed that one, but it was foul. Like I said, after last night, he can hit.
You don't expect that from somebody that's kind of long and slender like himself, but must be holding some type of power in there.
It's all in the technique. 2-2 pitch. Looked like he wanted that one, but he let go of it. Full count.
Both hands in the cookie jar right now. Braxton Bailey is hoping to pull out his chocolate chips as Zach Lane avoids trying to pick out the snickerdoodle.
Another cookie that you don't like?
I'm not a big fan of snickerdoodles.
And that will be a walk for Micah Morgan.
Brings up the catcher.
Number 10.
Phoenix. Yeah, Shapiro coming in. This is going to be his first at bat of the game. Subbing in for Carson Comer. First pitch to Shapiro. Swings and he misses. Or he might have found the very end, not sure. But Morgan's still hanging out over there at first. The 1-0 pitch. High. And the 1-1 pitch to Shapiro. Takes that one on the outside. They're going to check out Morgan out there at first. He gets back in time. Didn't even have to dive. And he is safe. No, go ahead.
1-2 the count as Phoenix Shapiro is looking to move Micah Morgan.
And they're going to attempt to get Morgan once again. He dives back that time. Safe. And catcher's going to call a quick timeout, have a quick conversation with Braxton Bailey out there on the mound. As Shapiro's working the 1-2 count now.
Now they did move Bird to first base because he's a more consistent glove. I assume that they were going to try to do a lot of pickoffs attempts at first, but it just hasn't worked in their favor yet.
Typically, Beaufort's been trying to steal on the first pitch. I'm surprised to see Morgan hasn't made a move to do that. And this one far, and Morgan is going to pop up, turn and second hard, and he is going to make his way all the way to third on the overthrow.
I've said it before, and I'll say it again. Maybe just leave the base runner alone and focus on your pitching, considering you guys have struck so many people out. You guys are a good pitching team. Maybe leave it alone. You guys are so good at pitching.
Yep, 1-2 to Shapiro, and
Strikes them out.
exactly like you said, strikeout. 9th one on the day.
Strikeouts. You're going to win. Now, even though they have done a great job of fighting, striking them out, you're not going to make any errors.
And puts this one into play on the ground. He's going to come up and make the play, but Michael Morgan's going to come in and score 10-0. Are they going to call him safe?
Called them out.
It's that Wyatt Lather in there batting in place of Tucker Nelson. And that brings Ethan Sykowski up to bat for his first at bat here of the day.
Hesitant and delayed swing by Ethan Sykowski. I think he kind of just went on autopilot there.
He's educating that umpire.
But Ethan Sykowski's favorite team, the Philadelphia Phillies. There we go.
That's a interesting pick.
Interesting considering you want to be successful, you know?
Right. Didn't the Braves win the World Series like 2 years ago?
And his favorite movie is Step Brothers.
Puts this one into play, and it is a slow roller. He hesitates. I'm not sure why he stopped running. Yeah, that's gonna be the third out. I guess that's gonna do it for Beaufort County. They only scored one that inning.
This has got to be Latta's inning to do something. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe it is Logan Bird as our leadoff batter.
Yeah, I think you're right with that one.
No better time to inspire a team like Nick Mendez. And it looks like Latta's head coach is giving the umpire an earful. Wow. We'll be right back. County
And welcome back here to the fourth inning. Beaufort County working here with the new pitcher, Micah Morgan, taking over on the mound after a successful outing from Anthony Seminara. First batter he's going to face is Logan Bird for Latta. Bird fouls off that first one. Straight back.
Gotta appreciate for County Moxie and they're pitching the Bird, which I think they can even afford to do it. Nobody's on base right now. We're up 10-0. So during the intermission, for those of you who don't know, one of the Latta coaches was kicked out of the game, lost his composure a little bit, and not something you like to see. One thing that I always like to remind parents and coaches and grandparents and umpires is that this is not about you. It is about the children. And I understand sometimes we get wrapped up in the game and it is hard. I know myself, I am a coach, but it's important to remember that it's just a game and to remain calm and not let your emotions get the best of you. So hopefully Bird is not affected by that and he can try to help himself out and help his team out by hitting a home run here. Because that's a well-placed ball by Bird, and that's going to get him singled. Bird kind of inspiring, hopefully, a little bit of the tables turning. Now up comes the DH, Weston McCall.
The DH.
Yeah, not a home run, but hey, it'll do. It's getting them base runners. And I think we possibly would have seen that situation again, attempting to throw that out at first, but it took a weird hop and they weren't able to come up clean with it out in right field. As McCall steps up to bat, swings at the first pitch for strike one.
He's got a bigger problem in baseball.
So hard by Micah Morgan that it spun on out of Shapiro's hand straight up in the air. As Logan Bird takes a lead, goes back.
McCall swinging at that one. He looked a little bit off balance there. Not his pitch, but it's 0-2. Bird taking a big lead again, but that one low and inside for ball one. Puts this one into play on the ground out to second. He's going to attempt to get Bird, and he does at second. Get that lead base runner. They attempt the double play, but McCall gets there in time, and he is safe.
Bang, bang play right there. That ball just beat out. A little bit taller in stature. Was able to get that leg out in front of him.
Yeah, and Jackson Riley out there, his momentum was taking him towards first. Nice footwork there as he spun and fired it over to second to get that lead runner. I think maybe if I was in that position, I would have probably went ahead and tossed it to first. But hey, they're able to get that lead runner out.
Baseball awareness by Jackson Riley.
Up to bat now, Zach Lane. Working here with one out and a runner on first, and
slowed it down. That's what Cotter's supposed to do. If you can't get to it, at least slowed it down.
Yeah.
Just a single. That very well could have advanced McCall to third base.
Yeah, that ball was, bouncing on the ground right there. Kind of took a bad hop right at his glove, but he was able to keep it from going too far into the outfield. And that brings Bryson Berry to bat. I think they're going to want to switch balls right here with Micah Morgan out there on the mound. 2 runners on once again here for Latta. Still haven't been able to string together enough hits to score, but they only have 1 down here. A lot of opportunity. And that one's going to get past the catcher. The runners are going to move over easily into scoring position now.
Shapiro seems to be having a hard time catching this ball.
Huge cut right there from Barry. And it is 1-1.
Sports, baseball is focus as he watches that ball go far outside.
2-1 the count. To Barry, working with Weston McCall at third and Zach Lane at second. He lets go of that one, and it is high for another ball, and it's a hitter's count here to Barry. Barry gets this one in play, and the shortstop just has to take like one step back, and that is 2 down.
That yesterday, but before that, he had struggled through the tournament, which is not usual. Last year, he was a very consistent batter.
That one gets away from the catcher on a wild pitch. Latta's not even going to attempt it.
Call took a big lead. Thought about it, but as I've said, the one thing that Shapiro has been spectacular at is getting people out coming from third to home, whether it's a rundown or just going back and forth and playing that old school game of pickle.
Swings at that one, fouls it straight back into Shapiro. 1-1 the count to Rouse.
Confused what's going on with Shapiro's glove. It seems like every time he goes to catch a ball, it spins back out of his glove. Maybe he might need a new glove.
And he's going to swing at that one, foul towards the first base dugout.
Chase. Gone.
And the 1-2 pitch to Rouse. That one's low, and Latta's going to score their first run of the day. Weston McCall trotting in on the pass ball.
Young men were able to keep their composure after one of their coaches lost his. That refocused them, and they're able to fight back a little bit as the score now is 10-1 with 2 outs, a man in scoring position, and the count is 2-2.
Who knows? Maybe the frustration, maybe it fuels them. And they're going to call that one for strike 3, and that will do it for the inning.
Top of the 5th inning with the score 10-1. Beaufort County still in a commanding lead at BC TV.
Welcome back here to the top of the fifth inning. Latta was able to push across their first runner of the game on a wild pitch, but Beaufort still remains on top, 10-1. Beaufort will be up to bat here. On the mound for Latta is Braxton Bailey still. Bailey, who's picked up a couple strikeouts for Latta. And on deck is, or up to bat is Jackson Riley. Riley, who has scored twice already this game.
It's a shame this just like all fate. Two players a lot of just enjoy themselves and always root for them. But it gets tough when you know they're going up against your hometown team to choose a winner. So I just wanted to see a good ball game, and it hasn't been as tight as I had hoped. But hopefully Beaufort
On second baseman number 5, Jackson Riley
is able to continue, or Latta is able to turn it on to make it a little bit tighter of a game, more enjoyable. It looks like JP Bly is kind of joking around, and that's something you kind of want to see. They pick up their spirits a little bit, inspired by Braxton Bailey on the mound and McCall coming in for their first score.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a tough outing right now for Latta. And I'm not sure how far away that is from where we're at here in Bluffton, but it's going to be a long car ride back home.
Spirit can't fight their way back. I sure hope so for the sake of a close game. Think of some of those young boys in that dugout. They've worked really hard to get here. You just hope that they have something to hang their hat on, regardless if they win or lose, by never giving up. As a testament to Braxton Bailey on the mound out there, he hasn't given up yet. And I really commend that young man. Hats off to you.
That one outside, and it is 3-0 to Jackson Riley to kick things off here in the fifth inning. And that one high, and Riley is going to walk his way to first on 4 straight balls. And that's going to bring Logan Cotter to the plate.
Reminder of the Mercy rules. Jackson Riley is on first base. If he were to score, that would be technically the winning Mercy run. However, because we started the fifth inning, you need to finish it. So Latta does get another attempt no matter what to come up and bat. But if they do not, if they allow Jackson Riley to score and do not score anything else, that could be the game and end it at the end of the fifth inning. But as we said, Latta doesn't seem to say die, and I very much commend him for that.
Swing on the outside, 0-2 here to Logan Cotter. And yeah, you're right. I mean, going from the walk, throwing straight strikes, not a ball yet. Braxton Bailey's doing a heck of a job out there on the mound for Latta. And he puts this one into play out to right field, and it's going to bounce for a single.
I really should alter outfield in just a little bit. It's well-placed balls in between the gaps and in between outfield and infield. Just take a step or two up and maybe shift your right fielder just a little to the right, about 5 feet forward. He probably would have caught a couple more. There's a strike on the inside, as that is a not official sponsor, Sherman William Payton Corner, as sent by Brandon.
Yep, with Steiner up to bat now, working with a strike.
And on second.
puts this one into play. It's a hard shot on the ground right to the shortstop. And instead of going for the double, he comes across and cross the diamond to throw out Steiner at first.
Yeah, a little uncertain about what
14, left fielder Colin Sanchez.
He sent a very stout shortstop. I think maybe he forgot there was a runner on first coming to second, because that could have easily been a double play. He might have even himself been able to tag second and throw to first within seconds of each other. So a little confused about that, but sometimes it happens.
Happens, can't dwell on it. He also had that runner going to third, so that's another option. But they got it out. And the first pitch to Colin Sanchez called for a strike on the outside corner. He kind of shook his head, didn't really like that call.
Still did get it. Kind of has been able to stop Beaufort County in the first 2 innings with men in scoring position. So maybe they can repeat that again. As Braxton Berrios continues to show his character on the mound and his skill level as he continues to fight.
One the pitch now to Sanchez. This one outside, he swings at it. I think Sanchez is a little off balance after that first one being called for a strike. 1-2, the count now. And he swings at that one, and that's going to go down for a strikeout. Back-to-back strikeouts for Sanchez.
Eli Morgan now up to bat.
Number 1, Eli Morgan.
Yes.
I have him down for a strikeout.
Watches that one right down the pipeline.
Yup, first one in for a strike.
Braxton Berrios has done a very good job at pitcher, and you kind of got to wonder, why is this just the first time we're seeing this young man if he's doing this well?
That one too high, and it's calling for a ball. It's 1-1 now.
Oh, I said the wrong name. Bryson Bailey. I apologize.
Braxton Bailey.
He looked like a fool for several times, and then finally corrects myself so he can get himself a good chuckle out of it.
Braxton Bailey.
Braxton Bailey. I'm thinking of Braxton Berrios, the new Miami Dolphins wide receiver, came over from the Jets. Very good slot.
There's also Braxton Bailey. This is Braxton Bailey. Too many B's going on here. And Morgan lays that one into no man's land behind first base, and that's going to score 2 for Beaufort County. Jackson Riley coming in to score. Logan Cotter not far behind him.
Morgan did his job.
Eli Morgan with a beautiful single.
Continue.
Waiting on the umpires out here. They were having a quick conversation. Not sure what about. But last time, Micah Morgan looks like he drew a walk, was able to show off his speed and score in his last at bat. Yep, first pitch, he's going to take it for strike 1.
Apologize for my long
Morgan swings at that one 0-2. Yeah, I agree with you. My throat was hurting last night, and I was like, man, what's going on? Probably because I've been talking way too much this week.
I think next year we're going to get old Bob Rozak now.
And Morgan's gonna swing at that one for strike 3. And
The inning. Case that young man happens.
Yeah, he picked up 2 runs, 2 hits.
well, that was 2 this inning. That's got to be at least 4, I think. But either way, he's been doing a great job out there on the mound for Latta.
Latta gets one more attempt to come back in this game. If they can score 2 runs, we go to the 6th inning.
48.
I believe we're at a pretty good spot in the lineup as far as Nick Mendez, I believe, is the one up to bat. Nick Mendez hit a double last time out there, and if anybody watched the game last night with Latta, he also hit a single. Looks like we got a new pitcher on the mound for Beaufort County, number 13.
Tucker Nelson.
Tucker Nelson, as I mentioned.
Thanks your attention, please. Now pitching for Beaufort
We'll
County.
be back
13
at the
off,
bottom of the 5th inning. Latta hopes to battle back and continue their eye of the tiger that Braxton Bailey has shown on the mound. And we're back here at the county, Beaufort County channel.
Otherwise known as BCTV.
New brand.
And there's already 2 outs. We cut out of our Wi-Fi for a second, missed the first 2, but Zach Bly, Latta's leadoff batter, is up to bat now. Working no balls and 2 strikes against Tucker Nelson on the mound to close things out for Beaufort County.
Best thing for Bly right now is to just get on base. Don't go. Only gave him a spoon right now, so he can make something happen. That is hit over the center fielder's head, and he's going to trying to help Latta out a little bit. We've seen glimpses of Latta fighting back, and every now and again, they just can't seem to finish through on some of them. Nick Mendez did it last inning, was unable to do it this inning.
That was a beautifully hit ball by Bly. First name JP. I don't know why I called him Zach. I don't know where that one came from, but beautifully hit ball right over the head of the center fielder. One of the hardest hit balls I think we've seen so far for Latta. And Durant steps up to bat.
Looks like Beaufort County has taken my advice for Latta and brought their infield in a little bit shallower than usual. And rightfully so. Latta's only hit high fly balls right outside of the dirt line. So to bring them in, it kind of helps out your second baseman and shortstop, even though Cotter's done a pretty great job out there at shortstop catching those pop flies. It's sometimes nice to just have some backup. Foul ball. And if Durant can't get on base here and strikes out, then Beaufort County wins with a mercy rule of 12-1. But Durant could be a fighter, and I believe in him. And I think he can get here on base, keep this game going a little bit longer. Most of that. And that, unfortunately, is the ball game, as Beaufort County has only allowed a grand total of 4 points in this tournament. Now, one thing I would like to say
Beaufort County,
before I pass it over to Chloe to wrap things up is a lot of respect goes out to some of these Latta players and a couple of their coaches for never giving up. They were one of my favorite underdog teams last year. They still remain one of my favorite teams this year. But Beaufort County was an absolute juggernaut, and we look forward to seeing them travel to the World Series as, for the first time ever, both the 13 and 14U team makes it to the World Series, as that has never happened before from the same county. Chloe, anything to say?
Yep, you're right. This was an amazing outing for Beaufort County, and you've been here for a couple years. This is my first time here in South Carolina for this tournament, and it has been an awesome ride. Been excited to be here with everybody out there listening. Thank you guys for tuning in here to BCTV. It'll be exciting to see what both of these teams can do next. So, signing off one last time, I'm Chloe G. And we thank you guys for tuning in here with us at BCTV.